28th of April, Rakeshwar Manas was brought at the Jan Adalat deep inside the Taram forests of Bastar. His hands were tied, there were ropes around both of his arms which were untied, and finally Rakeshwar Manas was handed over to the mediation team. Rakeshwar Manas was part of the Cobra DRG STF team which had gone to the Taram forest after an intelligence input about presence of Hidma. During the course of the fighting, he told his buddy that he was feeling unwell. There was no information whether he had taken a bullet, he had taken a sharpnel, or he was generally feeling dehydrated. But the buddy last saw him inside that forest area, and then he moved ahead. It was only 24 hours later that the CRPF realized that one of their boys was missing. Manas, when he woke up, found himself in a Maoist camp. On the 5th, which is about 48 hours after he was taken hostage, local journalists received WhatsApp messages from Maoists confirming that Manas was in their custody and that he was unharmed. Soon after, the state police got in touch with these local journalists who offered help, and a group of civil society members, local tribal panchayat leaders, Padma Shri tribal activists, they were all put together. On the 6th, this group was promised that Manas will be handed over. This was also the day when Soni Sori made plans to go to Chhattisgarh. So a day later, when all of them reached that point, there were a lot of journalists, there were a lot of activists also, including Soni Sori, and the Naxals refused to release Manas. In Jammu, the family of Manas was getting more and more anxious because there was no official word yet. Manas, meanwhile, as per his account during his debrief to senior officers, was being marched hundreds of kilometers, tens of kilometers from one camp to the other because they didn't want to take any risk by leaving him in one camp. So he was walking, even though he was feeling unwell, he was slightly dehydrated, otherwise he was fine. And while he was walking inside those forested areas from one Maoist camp to the other, the journalists were told by CPI Maoists that he will not be harmed because he was found in an unconscious state, and therefore, following rules of engagement, they don't want to harm him. Post this, the team finally reached Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel, Union Home Minister. They all intervened. They had also gone to Chhattisgarh. They wanted Manas to be unharmed. Police officials confirmed that because of the hostage crisis, their counter-Naxal operations also got affected. Ordinarily, they would have launched a counter-operation immediately after the Bijapur encounter, but because of this hostage crisis, they had to recalibrate. Finally, Manas was brought, like I said, to this Jan Adalat where about 200-250 villagers were present. A lady commander of Naxals was leading the negotiation. He was brought in. This team of 11 of journalists, civil society members, tribal panchayat leaders, they were all present. He was handed over, he sat on a motorbike, and finally he was brought to the Tarim camp. Now ostensibly what we are told is that the Naxals let go of this Cobra Jawan without any demand. So they did not ask for any release of any other Naxal in return. They have not asked for camps to be dismantled or operations to be stopped. Their demands usually in this kind of situation. But they have decided to release Manas because they wanted to make this into a PR exercise, tell the world at large that they didn't want to harm a soldier who had fallen unconscious during the battle. So that PR exercise is something that the Naxals were focusing on. But now to the bigger question, now that Manas is back, the security forces will focus on finding out these hideouts where Manas was taken and try and dismantle. This area that we are talking about is the den of Naxal PLGA Battalion 1 Commander Hidma, who supposedly led this entire operation against Manas and his colleagues, where 22 people were martyred.